after a heart-breaking, heart-wrenching, and frankly, Pittsburgh Steelers team that just quit today on the 2024 season. There ain't much more that can be said about that, Sean. I don't know. Your feelings here after this game, and then I'll give mine.
Yeah, that was a tough one to watch today. I expected a much better performance from the Steelers today. It was a very dull performance. They weren't very aggressive on the offense, but it was hard because you're right. I watched them give up today. They didn't play a full 60 minutes, and it makes me wonder exactly where we are right now with this season.
Yeah, and I was okay with like, hey, battle. You end up losing, whatever. You end up being the fifth seed, whatever. Go to Texas, play. I get that, but when you look at those guys today, Sean, at the end of that game, Mike Tomlin going for 4th and 20, but not going for it on 4th and 2, punting the ball away. That says to everybody in the building, like you're not going to fight anymore. You're conceding the football game. I just am not on board with that type of behavior, man. I'm not on board with giving up no matter what the situation is. And I got to say this too, Sean. I'm wrong about the Pittsburgh Steelers, my friend. Very wrong. So they're not the team I thought they were. And they have definitely fallen off a fucking cliff, my friend.
Yep, I was wrong too, bro. They showed a different side today that I wasn't expecting. I saw them bouncing back and sticking it to the man by getting a dub over Kansas City today to turn things around, and it wasn't even close to that. So,
No doubt.
yeah, I feel you, bro.
Well, one thing that I didn't want to come true in the prediction category here from preseason predictions here on Mike Drop Sports is that I think I'm probably going to be dead absolute nuts. Well, I will. One of them are going to hit there. I said 10-6, or 10-7, or 11-6. So one of those is going to hit. So something I definitely did not want to be right about, and I thought that. The Steelers team had a much better chance to be the 12-5. Sadly, it's not working out, guys. And again, you saw a lot of shit happen here today. And what did we say before the show, Sean? Or in the pregame show, was that offensive line had to come to play. That defensive line had to come to play. And I thought the Steelers got owned in the trenches today. What do you think about the offensive and defensive line performances here this afternoon?
Yeah, the offensive line got destroyed today. Russ was being rushed almost every time he dropped back. He was scrambling out of the pocket and trying to extend the play, and it didn't really look good at all. Yeah,
No.
they got dominated. The offensive line was dominated today. The defensive line, they struggled too today. I mean, there was times where they showed flashes of going out there and stopping them, gave the Mahomes and them a 3-and-out, I think, and that was a good sign. But they weren't consistent, and for the most part, they got beat too all game long. And it is what it is, bro.
Yeah, no doubt. And Donald Loudon back here says Najee needs to be shown the gate. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I just don't feel it. And here's another thing that really annoyed me today, Sean. And I don't know about annoying you or not, if maybe I looked at it a little differently. I thought Jalen Warren, when he was in there, was doing a phenomenal job, and then literally would go right back to the bench. And then you would see guys like fucking Patterson. Najee would come out there and do nothing. You're trying to throw screen passes to Najee to get him out in space when he's not a speedster. He's not a guy that got that quick burst. I'm not sure what they're trying to do. And I think this a lot falls back on to Arthur Smith. I'm sorry, over these last 3 games, particularly, this has been some of the worst play calling you've seen, even during the Matt Canada time. No intermediate pass game. And I don't want to hear it's Russ can't see over the line, because I think you can still have a pass game there over the middle. I still think you can get that done. When they do dump the ball underneath, it works, but they go away from that. No real pre snap movement to speak of, no real shifting around. I just feel like the game plans on both sides of the football were very vanilla. You saw receivers for the Chiefs running all over the place, wide open, guys looking confused. That's coaching. That is coaching.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, that is. And man, it's just a tough one today. I'm still kind of trying to swallow that pill, but yep, they They lost the North probably, yeah, for sure. Ravens are gonna take it. It's just been the same. Nothing's changed. It's the same game plan the past 3 weeks. Nothing has really changed, and we're on a 3 game skid. And I just gotta wonder why. Why hasn't there
Yeah.
been changes?
And nothing. Schematically, they've came out there with the same approach each and every week, Sean. Each and every single week, the same approach. And I understand Mike Tomlin is good with the players. I get that. But you saw that, Sean, at the end of the game when players are looking at each other with their hands up, acting like, they don't know what the hell's going on and it's getting crazy and everybody looks down. And that's a coaching thing, also. And you're losing control of the building, man. You're losing control when those things start to happen. And it's just starting to become a real somber place to be here in the back half of the season. My question is this for you, Sean. Do the Steelers win another game this season after today's performance?
I think so. I there's always room for improvement, and any given Sunday, I'm not going to count them out and say they're going to lose out the rest of the season. There's still a chance. Absolutely.
I'm going to say no. I don't think they can beat the Bengals. Well, I'll say this. It'll depend on what the Bengals are playing for. So if the Bengals win this week and have a chance still with teams losing that they need to lose, I'm going to say the Steelers will lose that game also and be a quick exit in the playoffs. After what I saw today, when I see a team give up on itself, it's kind of one of those things of I don't know how they can manage to get it done unless they fix it real, real fast. And I don't know if that's possible or not. But you saw today, too, what good coaching is, Sean. You saw the complexities of Andy Reid's offense in terms of what? Motions, shifts, things of that nature, going to the weak side a bit, really just trying to confuse that Steelers defense. And it worked. And you saw what good play calling, good coaching does, taking the right situations and making them work for you. You saw that today, and I'm not sure if you think this, but what do you think? Did Andy Reid really truly outcoach Mike Tomlin and Arthur Smith today?
Yeah, big time. Yeah, the play calling was phenomenal. I texted that to you, and I was saying, man, they're just so quick with the play calling. They're getting out there, and they're doing 3-step drop, firing, hitting the quick slants, moving the chains. It just seemed like they had the Steelers defense on their heels the whole game, and they never really looked back. Kansas City, they just kind of took charge and they ran away with it.
Yeah, people like Donald just says here, do you believe Tomlin has to go? Guys, my theory on this is no matter what we believe, it won't happen. The Steelers will ride out until Mike Tomlin says he's done. So no matter what we bitch about him going, it's not going to happen, sadly. But this is it, Sean. This is the moment, man, where the Steelers team fell apart. You remember the 11-0 year, they fell apart in the back half of the season. Has this become a theme with Mike Tomlin football teams? These periods in the season to where they just absolutely fall apart. Is this a reoccurring theme each and every year?
I mean, it seems to be that way, but let's hope it's not. I still think the Steelers are going to win another game this season. I'm not saying they're going to win out, but I think they'll get one more. And who knows what they can do in the playoffs? I don't think that they're going to make a deep playoff run at this point. But like I just said, any given Sunday, we never know.
Yeah. Well, they only have one more game now against the Cincinnati Bengals, so that's the last game. The Steelers now are 10-6, guys. Yeah, one more loss brings them to 10-7, or a win brings them to 11-6. That's the two ways they're going to finish the season, depending on what the Baltimore Ravens do today. Doesn't win them division necessarily. If they win, yeah, they're at the top. But they could lose the following week, and the Steelers could win. So the AFC North is going to be up for grabs clean until the end. But honestly, Sean, I don't know if this football team deserves to win the AFC North at this point, the way they've played in these last 3 games. I just really am so bummed out about this, man. I didn't think that I was this wrong, but we talked about it early. You had to control the trenches. And I got to say this too about the offensive line before we continue to go too far. Russell Wilson had targets underneath that were open, but I believe that he's trying to hit just too many deep balls and maybe holding it a little bit too long. Do you think that that might be an issue with this offense?
Yeah, I thought that last week that he was holding onto the ball a little bit too long. He needs to be, like I say, drop back 3 to 5 steps, know where you're going with that ball, and if you look down the receiver and he's open, fire it. Don't keep looking around and then go back to that receiver and throw it, and then it's too late. Yeah, I feel like he is holding the ball too long, bro.
Yeah, and that one interception play that they were trying to get to Pat Fryermuth in the end zone, they have ran that play so many fucking times this season. You can't tell me that a good coaching staff from the Kansas City Chiefs, they weren't sitting on that. That same distance to the end zone, they've ran that same play over and over again. If we're recognizing these things, I'm sure professional coaches do. And I'm not beyond the fact if it were me running this franchise, that I wouldn't be trying to push Mike Tomlin out the door. I don't know if that would be maybe that would be the way I go, bro. Maybe that would be it. I don't know about you.
Well, whatever's going on right now, what they've been doing over and over, year in year out, is not working. So we'll
Yeah.
we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and here's the thing, Sean. The fan base, we're forever optimists. We're trying to say, damn, they're going to have to change. They surely have to recognize these deficiencies. They surely have to understand what's going on here. And they don't. And it's being ignored. And it's just so frustrating. And that's the problem. Let me say hi to some people in the chat: Tanya Jones, Donald Louderback, Lindsay C., Juan Trap, 33, Tyrone Jones, Kenneth Scott, Craig Werlow, Vincent Stokes, Tina, Miss P, Sal Domino, DC Steelers, Daniel Warman. Just making a few guys. I'm going to be down Robert Road. I'm going to be down at the bottom of the chat. So if you want to put yours back in there, go ahead. I'm not going back up through. We've been on for almost 12 minutes. So if you want your comment heard, put it in there. If it was something you wanted me to read or something, or if you wanted Sean to answer a question of some sort. But where do they go from here, Sean? Where do they go from here?
Well, it's all about just, hitting the reset button. It's definitely not rocket science. They got to take a step back. They got to look in the mirror. They got to watch a lot of film. They got a lot of tightening of the seams, if you will, to do. That's the basics of it, though. But my main concern is the play calling, like we were talking about. It's just so dull. It's it's hard to watch. We need like Andy Reid in that offense today. It's like almost all game long, you saw them mixing the plays up and running different plays that we had not seen the whole game. And you're right, the Steelers are running plays that we've seen over and over again. And to me, that's the biggest problem. We've got to come up. The Steelers got to come up with a game schematic, a game plan going into these games ahead of time. And whatever they've been doing in the past, man, they got to wipe that slate clean and they got to forget about it because it's a failure.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Oscar says, oh, hold on. Walter Lemley says, guys, this is the same movie. Mediocre Mike is what he is. No surprise with this. Oscar says, guys. Tomlin reached his Super Bowl. As soon as he hit his non losing season, he hung up his cleats. Yeah, I don't understand. And this, Dirty Davis says embarrassing on Christmas reset button. It's freaking week 17. It's over. I get it, and I get what Sean's saying. Hit the reset button for this week. You got to. That's the only way you could possibly win. I don't know though if this locker room's going to be right after this. This 3 game stretch of losses is a lot, and it's a great deal of significant turmoil that could be presented into this locker room here when you have that kind of stretch here. So I'm not sure where they go, man. I'm not sure if they can or can't hit this reset button, but man, some of this shit that they're doing is just so bad. They had McCole Pruitt in there, guys, on a 3rd down, critical or early in the football game, with other playmakers on the bench. McCole Pruitt's in there. This guy has 77 fucking career catches since 2015. 788 yards. And this is the guy you're going to week in, week out, taking playmakers off the field. I think that's an issue. If you're the Steelers, do you fire Arthur Smith tomorrow?
No, I wouldn't. I mean, if you're asking me, no. I still think it's too early to abort mission. I really do. I know that we thought they were going to win today, and they had a chance. And this is, they were a better team that we've been thinking. They're not as good as a team as we've been thinking, but I still think that there's a chance, you guys. And go ahead and smash me all you want in the comments. I'm not the one that's going to be quick to go roll over belly up. I want to find a way to dig deep and get a new game plan and go out there and try to prove something. There's not just anybody else, but to yourself at this point. You got to go out there and prove something to yourself as a player and as a team, as a franchise. And you know what? Go get this win against the Bengals. Get yourself in the fifth seat, whatever it may be, and just take one game at a time. Nothing is over until it's over. I just want to say that.
Yeah, I agree. Nothing is over until it's over. But I asked this. Daniel says the players acted like they didn't even want to run Smith's plays. Is that something you're seeing, or do you think maybe we're reading into it a little bit too much? Do you think the players are starting to become frustrated with that offensive scheme?
Yeah, they could be. Of course they're getting frustrated. I think everybody's frustrated at this point. That's going to be a given when you're on a 3-game skid. I understand you guys are upset, as fans too, and the easy thing to do is put your hands up and say it's over. I give up, and that kind of says a lot about you as a person if you're already saying that in the comments, whatever. I'm not that way. And I don't think any of these Pittsburgh Steelers players are all that way either. You got to have somebody in there to try to bring you up when you're down. And that's where we're at right now. Pittsburgh hit the basement today, you guys. This is a low. But it's all about how you pick yourself up and dust yourself off and move forward.
Yeah, no doubt, man. And it's just a little bit frustrating, no doubt about it. All right, guys, double tap that screen, hit that like button for us here on Steel City Live, our live Pittsburgh Steelers post game show as the Pittsburgh Steelers suffer a defeat, a demoralizing defeat to the Kansas City Chiefs. Again, they were in that ball game, Sean. Two
Yep.
wasted opportunities before half to where they could have took the lead. And wasted those opportunities, shot themselves in the foot. And that's an issue, man. And I think the Steelers have been doing a lot of that lately, Sean, shooting themselves in the foot, the ball not bouncing their way in a lot of situations. There was a couple interceptions that could have been had off tip balls. There was a fumble on a punt that could have went the Steelers' way. All these things change the complexity of the game. I'm not sure what's going on. They don't got luck on their side right now. But my question is this: who in that locker room, Sean, can get them back right? Who can get them on that path back and build that momentum up inside that locker room in order to right this ship, to finish the regular season on a high note by beating the shit out of the Bengals and getting on that roll and getting that momentum back to head into the first round of the playoffs?
Well, I think it starts with Mike Tomlin. He's going to have to be the one to get these guys together in the locker room, set them down, and have a nice talk, and really get down to the schematics, like I was saying. Come up with the scheme, look at the tape, figure out what's working, figure out what's not working, eliminate what's not working, and try to bring in some more stuff that will help boost the offense a lot more. The defense, I think they'll play better if the offense can do a little bit more. The defense is tired, man, and it's been what, 3 games in how many days, and the defense have been out there on this 3-game skid. The offense hasn't been doing anything to help. It's been tough, but like I say, it's all about schematics at this point to me. You got to go back, hit the reset button, and come up with a whole new game plan, and just come out as a whole new team. And I think it's not impossible. It really isn't. As a former player myself, and you too, Jason, you know that anything can change. It just takes one little spark, and you can
It
just roll
does.
with that. Yep, just roll with that. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. I'm saying it can happen.
Yeah, it can happen. It's just tough to go. You lose to the Bengals to end the season. I don't know how you gain that momentum in the playoffs. That's what I would be worried about. I think the Bengals game becomes important, not because of division, to win the division. I could care less about that at this point. What I'm caring about is the momentum you're carrying into that postseason play. And I don't know how you can compete with the leagues and the conference's best teams when you have guys back there in week 17 in that secondary that are looking confused, my friend, confused. And damn, was that sad to see. I mean, they absolutely looked like they never played football before, and that was really, really bad. I thought Patrick Queen had a miserable game. I didn't think he played really well. I'm worried about Cam's injury. We'll have to hear more about that. I didn't think the defense as a whole played really, really well. I didn't think that the linebackers were able to get enough pressure on Patrick Mahomes, and when they did, the offensive linemen were able to keep that middle of that offensive line clean for Patrick to step up and escape, man. There was nobody there to challenge Patrick when he stepped up into the pocket, and that's a key too. But what really was annoying, Sean, was those guys running wide open in that secondary. How do you think you get so far out of sorts? Is the Kansas City scheme that good, that confusing, that it puts you to where you look lost as a professional player?
I mean, I think they are pretty dang good. They were 14-1 coming into this game for a reason. You guys can you can't really take away from that. There's only been one team that's had an answer for Kansas City this year, and that's Buffalo. And you know, I'm not gonna just. I expected a win today. I did, but you know what? It's the Kansas City Chiefs, and they got Andy Reid, and they are one hell of a team to try to stop. And man, what a tall order! But you know what? It's not the playoffs. We still get to live another day, and that's where I'm staying. I'm gonna stay positive through this. It's Christmas,
Ho,
and
ho,
we that's
ho!
right. We got a lot to look forward to, man. It's not over. Not in my world. No way.
Kenneth Scott saying crybaby Steelers fans. We're not being crybabies here, my friend. We are here just talking what's going on. And we're telling it like it is. You know, at the beginning of the season, Sean, you picked 12-5. I thought we were steamrolling toward that. We became 10-3, I believe, at that time. We were looking good, looking like we were gonna head toward that 12-5 mark. I picked 10-6 or 10-7 or 11-6. That's where I thought this football team lied. And now we're looking like we're going to be there, hopefully, which is bad. I hate that. But we were cruising towards 12-5. But we kind of were accurate on where we thought we saw this football team. We had the chance to go to 12-5. That was right in front of us, but this team just stumbled and kind of fell apart, which was bad. Guys, forgive me for not reading a bunch of chat comments. I will try to get through some of them. We're just trying to kind of dissect and digest this loss after today. So many people there, but I have to say this too, Sean. I was very disappointed in the fan base itself at Acrisure Stadium.
Yeah.
Once the team got down there, that after that second score in the second half, I felt like they just stopped cheering. Patrick Mahomes using his regular cadence out there. There
Yeah.
was no fire, no nothing. And I got to say this too. If we expect the football team to battle the whole 60 minutes, we as fans got to battle that whole 60 minutes also. You know what I mean? And I'm not
Yeah.
trying to dog the fan base, but man, that's disheartening too.
Yeah, I saw it on the TV for sure. Everybody gave up there, and I'm seeing it here in our chat. I'm seeing it all over the place. And you know what? I think people are just kind of in their own emotions right now. You know, we all wanted this game really bad, but you know what? It's not over yet, you guys. That's the
Yeah.
truth of it.
Yeah, and Donald, we do tell the truth here. I've said it many times if you've listened to the channel, which I know you have. So you know my thoughts on Mike Tomlin. I think he's a good coach personally in terms of player relationships, but schematically and managing the game on the field is not his strong suit, and that's costing the Pittsburgh Steelers games. And if I were the Roonies, I wouldn't have held on to him this long. That's just me because I don't think his in-game attributes are good enough. That's just my personal opinion. So the truth is always being told here. They knew what Tomlin was serving up. Yeah, that was so easy for them. That's what the problem was, Sean, too. It looked, like Mark said, it looked like they knew what Tomlin was serving up. It looked like that, though, Sean. It looked like the Chiefs knew exactly what the Pittsburgh Steelers were going to do. You saw the pitch play again. You saw the same plays that you see every week without any type of adjustment, without any type of motion. Or is that telling the fan base this, that our offense is too stupid and they're like so slow and idiotic that they're unable to comprehend any type of new way to run a play? I mean, is that what they're telling us?
Yeah, I'd say so pretty much. That why change anything with your own game plan, just knowing that this is what Pittsburgh's going to do? Everybody knows what the Steelers are going to do right now, each and every week, and they go out there and we can see it. We can go back and watch this game all over again, and yeah, it's the same plays over and over again, the same game plan, the same vanilla offense. Um, why change up anything? Andy Reid and them, they're no pushovers. They know what they're doing. They've won a lot of big games, and what not a better coaching staff to prepare you for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So
Yeah,
until they make a change with the offensive game plan, I don't see much changing. We're going to keep losing. So I just pray to God that somebody in office says something, and yeah, we get some kind of different playbook going on. 'Cause this is
yeah, no
horrible.
doubt. It was horrible. Absolutely dog shit. All right, guys, there's over 100 concurrent viewers in here. We need to get those likes up, double tap that screen, hit that like button here on our Steelers live post game show. Sorry, I was having a brain fart there, but make sure you're hitting that like button for us to help your creators out there to continue to make content, to continue to give you a place to sound off. If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Again, we are here talking about this loss, and I'd be remiss, Sean, if I didn't mention Broderick Jones and Dan Moore and their performance today. In particular, I need to point them out here before we go any further. I thought it was probably the worst performance that I saw from both of them from this entire season. I thought it was very, very bad. What do you think? Maybe am I overreacting a little bit?
No, I feel you. It's pretty bad, bro. It's I don't know. Like I said, I feel like we kind of hit an all time low today. Whatever that
Yeah.
tells you.
Yeah, I think we did too, man. I definitely do. I know a lot of people are like, trade this player, trade that player. I wish it was as easy as doing all that because you got to get the right moves. You got to work with the right teams. You got to get the right draft capital back. It's definitely a lot of work, but Omar Khan should be open to do that work. Do you think also here, Sean? Do you think it was the biggest blunder of the offseason by any football team for Omar Khan not to acquire a bigger name wide receiver, a guy that was more steady, a true 1A? Do you think that that was probably the biggest uh, problem that happened so far for this Steelers team?
I think it is a problem. I that's something I definitely wanted. You wanted. We all wanted a big name wide receiver to help back up George Pickens, and we never did get it. So I mean, yeah, that maybe it was. Maybe it really was. But I at the same time, I feel like Calvin Austin and these guys, they have a lot of talent. What would really change when you have no protection on the O line for Russell Wilson? He doesn't have hardly much time to let these guys run around and get open. By the time he's ready to throw the ball, he's getting sacked or he's getting hit from behind or running out the pocket. I mean, even if we did have, let's just say, a big name receiver, I don't even know, just anybody, would we even be able to get him the ball?
Yeah, no doubt. Here's my thing, Sean. I was thinking of it as you were talking. If Justin Fields is healthy, do you make the move back to Justin?
It wouldn't hurt at this point. We already have a lock in the playoffs. We just don't know exactly where we're going to be in the playoffs. So it's not like we're really going to set this team backwards too much if we throw Justin in and see if he can get us a dub. Um, I wouldn't be mad about it. I'd like to see him go out there and maybe give it a go.
Yeah, you never know. I'm just curious of what they're going to do in this final game, man. I guess that's going to have a lot to play out today's games and through the weekend, and what's going to happen here as the Steelers now have like an 11-day stretch until they play the Cincinnati Bengals. So we are going to have a lot of time to dissect this, man. It's Christmas. Sean and I are going to be jumping off of here. We just wanted to do a quick show. So again, we appreciate you. You guys killed it with the viewership. Make sure you're double tapping that screen, though, hitting that like button before we get out of here. You guys have absolutely been awesome with this viewership today. Almost 100 concurrent or over 100 concurrent viewers for a lot of this show. So thank you guys. Again, we don't want to bail out when there's so many of you, but it's Christmas. Sean's got his family stuff. I got to go down and finish cooking. And again, it was just a tough loss. And we're going to be back tomorrow. Sean, are you on vacation or you go back to work
I'm going back to work.
tomorrow?
Yep, I'll be back at it tomorrow, you guys. Back
All
to
right.
work.
Well, thank you for joining us on Christmas, and I hope it was a very special day for you and your family, Sean, and
It has
continues to
been.
be.
Thank
Awesome.
you, and we wish you a Merry Christmas, my family to yours. Same with all you
Thank
guys
you.
out there in the chat. Merry Christmas to you guys, and keep your head up, okay? Everything's gonna be okay, no matter win, lose, or tie. We're all still alive and breathing. We got our families. Merry Christmas.
That's it, man. Football don't mean everything. Hey, everything's gonna be all right. Everything. Oh man, you don't want Jason and Sean to start singing up in this bitch. Shit might get real. All right, guys. Hey,
Yeah.
again, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to Sean. Thanks for coming on. Merry Christmas to the chat. We love all of you guys. Make sure you subscribe to the best channel in the universe. We'll be back tomorrow night with Steel City Live. Jason needs a day to take a break from this for a second and get my thoughts together. And I'll film another show tonight to put out in the morning. But I need to digest this one. So, Sean, we're going to cut it a little early here, man. So, again, go enjoy your feed. I'm going to go do the same thing.
All right. Thanks for having me, Jason. Merry Christmas, man.
Ho, ho, ho! See you later. Merry
All
Christmas.
right. Merry Christmas, everybody.